this whole time. Well, hi. That's crazy. Okay. Well, what I just explained to you is everything that we did last time. We solved 6 more people. We tried to figure it out. And this is as far as what we got right so far. The last thing we were doing, we were taking notes and looking at different things. We were looking at, we were looking into like a lot of local articles with the Butler County Times, and we were trying to figure out stuff about like Stephanie Landon and whatnot. And yeah, we're pretty much just gonna go into it because I can't remember everything I just said, but frames look good, everything looks okay, and we're vibing. Maybe I'll edit that out later. Let's see. Well, I think my mic is at an appropriate level. I'll move it a little closer just in case. Let's go. Look at the evidence. So what were we looking at last, if I can remember? Honestly, I don't remember exactly, but we got like a lot of different pictures. We know that this is Gwen and her boys, and I think we, for the most part, kind of sort of figured out who Gwen and her boys were. We just don't know exactly their names. We do know that her boys are both in this picture standing next to each other. Oh wait, actually no. We know that one of her boys is here. This is Miracle Jr. And this is Eli, one of... No, Eli would be Elias Jr., right? Like this Eli? Like older than everyone? I don't know. We might have to... That's the one thing about this game. I feel like it's hard to kind of get your footing when you come back to it. So what do I want to do first? What do we want to do first? We could go to the computer, kind of look in the Spidey search and kind of see what we were doing beforehand. I do remember us looking into Roottrees Motors, and yes, Jones Graphic and Print website, which I've already seen. Yes, so we don't know anything about the Roottrees Motors, but I believe that we were looking into the Butler County Times, right? Do we have any keyword save? No. Let's look up that Roottrees Motors. Let's look into this Roottrees Motors. Why don't we? I do remember we had the ad on it, and that's where we got 2 more pictures. But let's read a little bit about it, and then we'll go back and look at some of the later evidence that we uncovered. There's an ad for Roottrees Motors in the paper. It seems Roottrees Motors used to be called Wilkins Motors. Okay, so that's important. Wilkins Motors. We'll search that as well. We'll highlight that. We got so much. Let's add a page and put that here. Wilkins Motors. No. No, just delete it. Just delete it. Go to page 2. Highlight it. Boom. There we go. Alright, so we'll look at this up. An ad for Roottrees Motors have been running every week's Butler County Times for many years, but recently has been changed to include a picture. 3 different unique versions. I do remember looking at the 3 different unique versions, and here is the ad. So this is the ad that was 1974 to 1977, so they had this one for about 3-4-ish years, depending on exactly when they changed it. We may have a new name, but we promise we're still the same family business. And that's... and all that's different is we've joined a sweeter family. Funny noises, need new oil? Come on down, we'll fix her up. Then we got this one. Your local family mechanic servicing the entire Pittsburgh area. So we're going to have to look into the Wilkins. But yeah, I think this whole like thing is going to be important to an extent to where this, in other words, I can overlook this, but also I'm like, this is a guarantee that somebody with the last name Wilkins potentially married somebody with the last name Roottrees. That's what would make sense to me based on that. Especially based on like the original, like, right? So the original guy, Elias and Gwyneth. Yes, Elias and Gwyneth. Her family owned the farm, right? He owned, I guess he was trying to make some candy company, right? They combined, he put the maple in the candy, and they loved the maple in the candy. And then boom, here we come, the Roottrees Candy Company. So we can only assume that somebody named Wilkins. I'm actually curious. I'm not gonna. Catherine Wilkins. I want to type that in. Interesting way. I think I. No, that's not right. I was about to say. Hold on. All right, now. Okay, so these are all important. So I'm gonna go back. Oh, we gotta go back again. So here's the third version that we'll take a peek at, and this is the one that we gotta get the 2 clues off of. So, Roottrees Motors ad that's presently running first appeared in 1996. It says that Roottrees Motors has been around for 50 years and is a family business. I'll have to grab water at some point. And also that Tessa Roottrees, their newest fixer, has learned all there is to know about cars from her Roottrees Motors parents. Right. And I think we do have this on the other page, but I do think it's interesting, and I believe that this is Tessa Roottrees. We just gotta figure out who Tessa is related to. What they say, her Roottrees parents? Yes. Okay, so she kind of looks like a blonde-haired woman, right? Could that be Gwen's mother? Tessa would be an interesting name, but they did say the women did not. Let's look a little bit more into it before I play somebody down. I think that might be the smarter move. So what I want to do now is, I guess we search up Tessa Roottrees first to see what we get. And then I also will search. That also could be a fake name, but let's also search this. Oh, oops. I did not copy it. So we do have a Tessa, but why can't we find who Tessa is? Let's look up Catherine Wilkins. I'm gonna look in both places. Nope. And let's check here. Nope. What? Oh, I guess I didn't copy it. Okay. Probably should just copy it so I could just use it either way. What? And we were on a learning about Brian Jones. I'm gonna go back. I don't really want to add that to our thing. It was the Wilkins Motors that we did not find. We were looking up Roottrees Motors. Okay. Now we got 2 names that we know. We know Catherine Wilkins, and we know Tessa Roottrees, right? We have pictures of hopefully a lot of those people next to or behind each other. Is Tessa in this photo? No. So Tessa's not in here. We probably need a little bit more to get Tessa out of here. And also, I did want to reread this just in case, because I don't think we have everybody in here confirmed. Clearly, we don't have everybody in here confirmed, as like all these pictures aren't yellow, which I'm learning is the way that they say it's confirmed. Ooh. An attempt to recapture the spirit of this 5 pieces photo with our generation. For old time's sake, we gathered on the warehouse floor. I wanted Eli to stand all the way on the left since he looked a lot like Pop did in the old one. So, but I was outvoted by my brothers. They insisted the 4 of us stand together, so we clumped up in the middle and let everyone filter in front of and behind us. The only one too good to make an appearance was Gwen, so we know Gwen is not here. Grandma insisted we include Sam, which we don't know who Sam is, so we also talked about potentially Sam being either one of these women. But honestly, what would potentially make sense being Sam would be this lady, because like her hair would be different than everybody else. Or like it could totally be this lady in front, but I guess so. Let's see. I didn't think it was fair Miracle made it in since he's technically a 5-piece, but I guess my inner child holds a grudge after all these years. Let's see. And those are supposed to be a lot of people from this side. So who are we missing? So we're one of those people, Angie? I feel like a lot of stuff might be revealed by going back to the journal. Realistically, they did talk about some people in the journal. I don't know if I'm getting too caught up on certain things, but let's see if we have anything else that we can get, because we know what the generations are. We have that, right? We're looking for anything specific. I think what would help us solve maybe the next thing would be grabbing somebody's occupation. Hi, Sugar, how are you? Thank you for the you got this, and thank you for the first. But yes, getting somebody's occupation, aligning a picture in place, and or finding a name could also put me down. So, but I also don't know Tessa will be Tessa's stuff. Oh wait, mechanic, right? So if we were to do Tessa, and they said her parents, right? And we assume Tessa could either be here or here. We know that Elias had a firstborn daughter. But because he's not blonde, and Tessa appears blonde in a black and white photo where, you know, the hair is kind of light, you know, it would be like darker, right? So, I mean, we could, you know, just opt to just try it out. What would go wrong if we just got it right by just trying something? See, we tried it, right? So update me on the game. Let's see. We got a couple people. The easiest one to get was this one, honestly. It took me so long to get the miracles, but looking at the flyer, I was like, oh, they're all preachers. Hilarious. He do got like the whole little get up, like the, you know, I don't know. He do got the whole little, you know, the suit thing. He look like every picture he in, he got a suit on or something. So, we gotta learn more about Tessa, for sure. Because our notes said, basically, her Roottrees mortar parents. That's also interesting. Did I copy that exactly how it was? Or did they literally say in quotation marks? Oh, no, they said I just didn't get the last one. Roottrees Motors parents. Why is that in quotation marks? Okay, so I think we can take her off of there, I would say. I don't know why that's in quotation marks, but I don't know. That's suspicious. That is suspicious. That's giving that, to be honest, somebody here in the lower levels, not this first one, or maybe it is the first one, somebody took the Roottrees name from their spouse that wasn't originally supposed to take the Roottrees name. So we know Miracle is correct. It could be over here. I am very curious. It's not just Sam, though. There is something written exactly about Gwen. We might have to keep looking. Somebody's name is not entirely Roottrees. Or, you know what I'm saying? Something here is useful, perhaps. And there's still numbers here. So these numbers mean that I still have clues from these pages to grab. And these numbers, I'm assuming, are how many clues. Maybe a job of occupation, a name, anything that I haven't solved exactly yet. Let's see. They got this dynasty. Granddad was furious that none of his sons would take over as president. But that's what he gets for holding on to it so long. With architects, preachers, and lawyers, nobody got time for candy. So with the 5 pieces refusing to step up, it came to us next gen. Okay. Pop argued at length that the company should stay with our branch of the family since we have the Roottrees name. So, knowing that Lauren is in the main branch of the family, this is the main branch of the family. Not saying the main branch of the family, but a lot of these people did not change the name. So I'm assuming, like, hold on. You thought it was just counting? No, for real. So, you know what? Huh. Let me keep reading that thing. Let me just keep reading it. They tell me I ended up going to Zach, even though his surname doesn't match the candy. He's the firstborn son of the firstborn 5-piece. So his surname is not the same, right? So we can assume that Gwendolyn or Tessa could also belong here, but I do know that I'm pretty sure that Gwendolyn belongs on the first rung. I think, but we're looking for somebody's last name that is Morden. Gwendolyn Morden? Did they have another child called Gwendolyn Morden? And did they have a child named... So I think more than James belongs here, right? We still don't know what Angelica looks like. Who looks like? Got a little like brown hair, almost like green eyes, almost. Could it be her? But I low-key thought it was her, but she does look a little older. I mean, I wouldn't know what her occupation is anyway to solve it, so maybe I'm not doing myself due diligence by putting it there. Let's see. Okay, so Lauren's grandmother would be Gwyneth. Her grandmother would be Gwyneth. We still don't have Gwyneth's occupation. That is so weird. You would think we would have solved her by now. But I thought she was a farmer. Was she a housewife? I'm not happy I solved that one. I'm not. For real? Okay. Perfect. Amazing occupation. But yeah. Okay. So we have Gwyneth herself. Yeah, right. Apparently, They did say look for the person's last occupation, but I mean, I guess you have 5 children, you're done, right? Not you're done, but you're cooked. Like job wise, like you think you gonna work raising 5 kids around the same age, or 4 of them and then one 14 years later? But okay, so we got Clancy Jr., which we figured. Come on now, we saw that one pretty early, and then we have Elias, which was pretty easy to do, which is perfect. Beautiful. And then we also unlocked locked Morden James in place. And then I locked Hollow and optional Roottrees. Oh, maybe that's another version of Elias. Or I don't know. Okay.
It's time for your headlines. Once an hour, every hour on the 45. It's a bizarre development to an already tragic tale. In the wake of the accident that took his life, some of Carl Roottree's belongings have apparently gone missing. Most notably,
they took his stuff.
A photo of the Roottree family from the mid-1970s Carl had on his office wall. We interviewed a local psychologist about who would do such a thing and why. For that article,
is that the photo we have?
For WRTD News.
WRTD News. Hold on. WRTD News. I'm not working if I have 5 kids. I feel that though. No, for real. I'm through. I'm through. For real. I'm gonna sit my ass down. News. Okay, I said it. Okay. Look at that. Who would have thought Gwyneth was a farmer, but you know, I guess once the business took off, she became a housewife. You know, she had all these kids, you know? So we are pretty good on that one. We did lock in a couple side folk. We locked in, this is a younger photo of Elias. Funny enough, right? We just had this as a placeholder, this professor there. We just know that the sons they were all like, you know, they were all in the knowledge kind of thing, right? They had the knowledge, you know, path of careers going on and whatnot. So, amazing. We might be able to look into Carl a little bit more and maybe be able to reveal his mother's name, which could be very useful, obviously. But we have 2 out of the 4 solidified main, or I guess whatever they want to call it, main descendants, I guess, what you want to call it, the second generation. Not the 5 pieces, but the free spirits? I don't know. Okay. Perfect. So I'm just taking a peek. So we got this right. Now we got her sons here too. We don't know which son is older, but I think I can already, based on the look of them two, if I had to guess, I would say this guy looked a little older. It could be me, right? Older people don't smile that much. No, just, I joke. It's kind of like the haircut, you know, is given, you know, he got a job, whereas this is got a given like a high school, college kid, right? Okay. Anything else that I didn't, that I just got revealed? Oh, apparently there's another picture of Diamond in here somewhere. Okay, that's gonna be useful, I guess. So, I guess. But we did get something new. And I believe this is just updated, so we do have a way to search it. I guess if we didn't hear what was going on, or, you know. Alright, let's see. Let's just search WRTD first. WRTD News is your local investigative jazz radio station. During the news segments at 45 minutes on the hour, they've been talking about the plane crash. This is... Gosh, I need to slow down. I'm trying to grab this cereal bar real quick. This most recent hour, they also talked about a picture being taken from Carl's office after the plane crash and promised to interview online with a psychologist. During the interview, it's revealed that there wasn't a break-in. Instead, someone with the key to the office took the picture after discovering the pipes burst due to the recent storm. So is this about the person that gave me the pictures in general? Interesting. That means it was likely someone close to the family who was aware of the photo's history and wanted to save it. The psychologist, however, also goes out on to posit the culprit had an alternative agenda, specifically because no one in the family has come forward to say they have it in their possession. A comment below the article says, "Don't believe their lies. This is just another instance of the Roottrees curse being real, a real true thing. I bet you Carl was murdered and the picture had evidence on it." Wow. I'm going to search the Roottrees curse. There's a long, rambly conspiracy website with a very small, very red text on a black background that says that the Roottrees are cursed. It has been very recently updated with the following. Wow, okay. With Carl and Brenda and their girls, that makes 5 new deaths. We got more than just one person dead. Oh, wow. Not only that, but 3 of the 5 presidents of the Roottrees company have died mysteriously. They say Guy's car was hit by a drunk driver in 1982, but nobody was arrested. And then Ernie Madsen Jr. stepped down. He was poisoned. Now, just this week, Carl died in a plane crash. This cannot be a coincidence. There's another entry that claims if you connect the dots in the pattern of the 5 pieces raptor, it creates a Mayan ruby skull, a secret message meant to subliminally scare people away. What? The post before it has a link to a site that talks about how Earth has 4 corners, simultaneously 4-day cubes. What? 4 corner simultaneously 4 daytime cubes. Okay. An entry from a few months ago claims that the owner of the site received an email from Chris Raff at Prodigy asking him to take down his site with fake proof that Ernie Madsen Jr. actually had a heart condition that wasn't poisoned. The owner claims that although the proof looks quite credible, he knows that the proof was fake because he's an expert at creating fake evidence. The first entry is from 1996 and has a blurry picture of the Roottrees family candy company, seemingly taken by the website's author from behind the fence through some trees. It seems that Operation RT-29 is real. I witnessed a helicopter land on February 29th, 1996. The website footer says all images and ideas by Thomas Overwood. Okay, well, I'm gonna go to this new page and then I'm gonna highlight this. I don't know if this is important. The email, that also could be something that's important. We know that this is about him. This could potentially be something relevant. I wish the websites also had numbers. Alright, let's search this. I want to go back real quick and then grab this and just save it. That way I can come back to it. I know I'll have the thing to go to in the future, but still, I just kind of like to be able to have it available so I know exactly what I can refer to is dealing with each and everything. You find more conspiracy websites. Some people out there claim that the Roottrees are changing the candy recipe to include more and more chemicals and that this was done in cooperation with bad actors from a unknown government. They claim that due to a loophole in the calendar, it is possible to get away with nearly any crime on a leap day so long as it isn't discovered until after the day is over, and that every 4 years on a leap year, the Roottrees company hosts a meeting with foreign agents to conspire to poison our children. What? Interesting. Their proof is that the Roottrees candies contain I don't even want to pronounce that. An ingredient of the candy that wasn't there when it was first released. Let's highlight that. That's definitely something that could pop up some more relevant stuff about the candy at least. They claim it was added in an attempt to addict people and eventually induce mind control. The website to sell pills that counteract this effect for children have already eaten Roottrees candy in the past. Interesting. You also do an additional search for this substance, and it seems to be an emulsifier in chocolates approved by the FDA and widely used across many products. So even if we did, search this up, I'm assuming this is going to just tell us the same thing, maybe, perhaps. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so maybe that conspiracy theory was just talking out their ass. Did we search this one? Let's search this as well. Nothing relevant. Wait. You begin to read this site and come to the conclusion that no relevant results isn't a strong enough description for what you're trying to see here. It's a massive column of technical terms that aren't real and confusing rants that you can't find any meaning in. Regardless, it won't help you. Okay. Thanks for telling me that. This also could be important. Yes, searching the email. Look, in real life, you probably could actually search somebody's email here. Ooh! Look, we got some new evidence. I love the actual evidence because I feel like navigating this this internet browser is like, it's hit or miss for me. I don't know. It's interesting. It's not like it's like the internet. It's not exactly the internet. It's kind of like what they want you to be. It's not as so free roaming as like type in a website and go. But yes, you find a simple page called The Art of Rafferty. We know who that is. Somebody's last name's Rafferty. I don't want to talk on my ass, but that's somebody's spouse, right? Copyright 1997 on a Prodigy that lists the author's email address as chrisraff75@prodigy.us. Below a bunch of gifts that say under construction, there are a few art pieces. First is a painting, captioned "Me and my fiance Lulu." A painting I did for my first year of college that I plan to give her when we get married in May. Go Tartans. There's an odd colleague called Cousins, which seemed to be made up of 3 scrambled images. Accompanying artist's statement says, we had to create a piece of art about our family. I asked as many of my extended family cousins for their pictures as I could, even some I never met. Only a few of them got back to me, and my teacher said I wasn't allowed to use pictures of Raina, Riley, or Rose, so I had to get creative and use only my 3rd cousins. This includes, okay, hold on. We need to copy this. And we'll copy that just to, have it close by to know what it is. Okay, only a few of them got back to me. Basically, he couldn't do the 3 sisters. So I had to get creative and use only my 3rd cousins. This includes Davy, he swims for UConn, and Bethany's yearbook picture. She's Davy's younger sister. And Stephanie, who is an only child. So 3rd cousins. And who is this? Hold on, let's read the rest of it and then we'll figure it out. Chris's artwork has been added to your evidence, but the cousins' photos will need to be unscrambled before you can use them. You've downloaded a new application, PixPop, to edit the photos. Okay, so what do we have new? What is this? An art piece was found on the portfolio of a college student named Chris Rafferty. Me and my fiance, Lulu. Okay, let's see. Don't we have somebody named Rafferty? Jacob Rafferty? Rafferty Clark. So, we could assume Chris Rafferty. And then who was the only child? No. That doesn't have anything to do with it. That doesn't have anything to do with it. Okay, so we got Chris Rafferty. This is where I believe he goes. What picture did we just get? This right here. And then, who was he next to? Her. And then, who did he say his fiance was? Lulu. Luisa? Garza? Perhaps? So now we gotta figure out who Chris's parents are, actually, because we know the dad is Clark, but I'm assuming the mother is, you know, somebody who, you know, Clark was with in between Clark getting with Jane. And the only reason I keep these down here is because, obviously, the LaRoe and the Rafferty name, it would only make sense that both of them would go together. And then they said somebody's an only child. And then he said third cousins. Wait. We had an explanation way at the beginning. Third cousins, people that share the same great-great-grandparents. They share the same great-great-grandparents. So, this person... okay, so... We'll use Lauren. Lauren's grandfather was Elias, right? Clark's great-grandfather was Elias. Which means Chris's great-great-grandfather was Elias. Right? So that means they share the same... Wait, can we go back? They share the same great-great-grandparents, but not the same great-grandparents. Okay, so this is his grandmother. And that would be great. So, pretty much, I believe he's talking about everybody on this list that is his row. And it's not in this bracket. Because, right? This is her grandpa. This is his great-grandpa. This is his great-great-grandpa. All of these people share the same, on this row at least, share the same great-great-grandpa, right? So, that being said, who doesn't share the same great, right? Parents would be everybody that is not under this umbrella. So, we can also assume that it's relatively, could be on this list. I am unsure, based on his age. But assuming he's closer to the daughter's age, he could be in one of those pictures with all the younger people. This is important information. It really is. We also don't know what Chris did. Unless we just was reading about it, which we kind of did. Let's see. Art. So he's an artist. Yes, we do know what Chris does. And then where do we project Chris to be? An artist. There we go. Perfect. Alright, what else do we got here? We got something to decode, and then we'll, this is going to be real interesting when we do decode it. Chris Rafferty's cousin's art project, and it's said to include pictures of Davy, Swims for Yukon, and Bethany's yearbook picture, and Stephanie, who was an only child. Perhaps you can extract them using an application on your PC. So, another thing I wanted to do is go back here, and we're looking for somebody who was an only child. So, the crazy part is there's a lot of only childs here, right? Because this person is only child, this person's an only child. And then this person's the only child. So now we just got to figure out exactly who's who. Oh, man. Oh, man. That was a hell of a stretch, okay? Bethany Kellogg. Holy moly. And I assume we go back. Jesus. Okay, Bethany, David, and David for Alright, so that's going to be something we look into. I think it's just a good idea to get some names figured out so we can search up some of the relevant information. Okay, so Davy. Oh, David. And then we need Stephanie's last name. I'm assuming it's Stephanie Cattrall because I think Stephanie Landon was a little older, but we will put both. Same spelling. I'm pretty sure Stephanie Landon doesn't have anything to do with it. But yes, this is all important. Should we search them up or should we keep going? We technically don't have pictures of the people, so we could... I don't know. I think I might go the route of searching them up first just to see if we can find anything on these kids. Bethany Kellogg. Was that how you spell it? Yeah? What about David? Okay, so now I do know my next method of approach. We shall unscramble these pictures. I'm like, I don't got shit else to do. Not shit else to do. We do, but okay. It's a pretty cool puzzle. Oh, I just had that one. D Cho to my or Cho my D2. Okay. Let's keep going before we just go ahead of ourselves. That way we'll have a couple things to look at. Okay, what about you, sis? We know you're standing upright. Yes, yes. Get the elbow, get the corner of the shirt, get the hair, get the hair, get the top of the head, and then, oh, that was right. Boom. Right? Something's funky around here. What's wrong? Huh. Oh, I could just use my mouse thing? Okay, so it says middle school, but what's wrong on here? Should I solve another one first? Oh. Is it this? Hell no, her pants at the bottom. Perhaps it's a glitch. Interesting. Okay, let's go to this sliced photo. Yes, yes. I kind of like these kind of puzzles. I think they're kind of cool. Boom, right? We need you over here. We need you this way. We need you up. We need you up. And we need you left. We need you right. And... oh, wow. Okay, so no, that's not exactly... let's go up, go over, go down, and then... right, perfect. And then... yes. We're getting there. Now we need his hand, which we could probably just place like that. Boom. And that goes here. Move that. We'll move this up, and then we'll move this way. Not too bad of a puzzle, I would say. And then I'm assuming, yeah, this goes way up top right here. And then we'll move this back up, and then boom. So what do we have wrong about this second picture? Okay. I want to try to flip everything. Imagine. That this one was different. Like, is it messed up, or is it the fact that I could kind of see, like, some of the edges of it, you know? What did I have wrong? Maybe I had one of these white pieces wrong. That's hilarious, honestly. Okay. And I guess that's it. We fixed all three. Oops. Let's go back. So we got this one. We know who this is, right? Don't she got two brothers? So she got two brothers. Or no. Let's just read it. Yes, this is the third. And then we got a little bit of notes about his project. Do I have anything? Okay, I do. Okay, so let's see. Davy, Bethany's yearbook picture, and then Stephanie. So this is Stephanie, who's an only child. We don't know exactly where Stephanie is, but we can assume from the picture she's a student. Okay, this is Chris Rafferty. No. I lied. This is not Chris. This is Davy. He swims for UConn. And then Bethany. Did I grab all those pictures? Okay. An only child. How is that supposed to help me? Tell me how is that supposed to help me right now? I might have to leave y'all for a second. Let me grab some water. Hello. Okay. Okay. Water spilling. I overfilled it past the line, but that's okay. As long as I kind of wipe the desk off. All right. Yes, and I did sneak a cookie. Couldn't help myself. All right, so we ended up saying they're cousins. And then where do we read that at? Did we just get that here? No. I have no idea where we just got that from. I don't know. But I do have a portion of what it was here. Oh, we searched the email. That's where we were. I just didn't know what it popped up as. Davy, he swims for UConn. Bethany's yearbook picture. She's Davy's younger sister. And Stephanie, who's an only child. What's interesting is that Davy and Bethany sort of kind of have, slightly different hair. Sister. guardian, adoption, or otherwise. Okay, okay, okay. Interesting. But where would Stephanie go? Maybe Stephanie would go like under here or something. I'm not really sure, but I feel like I do want to place. Oops, I do want to place a few people. I want to place Davy and Bethany, and I believe they belong here. This is just my guess. So I'm gonna just try it out. Worst case scenario, I fail and I might remove it. That's depending. All right, where's that yearbook picture? Here we are. Huh. That wouldn't help because we got David the third and David the fourth. Who the fuck would be David? You know. Let me just look real quick. I was thinking here, right, before I saw the David the Fourth, did that not? I guess it was the same thing, huh? And Davy, he swims for UConn. Bethany's yearbook picture, she's Davy's younger sister, and Stephanie, who was an only child. So the problem I'm having, right, is that David the third and the fourth, I'm thinking that David... I don't know. I don't even want to put anything down. I almost want to erase this because they could have 3 siblings. I want to put him here. What is this, student? I can only I mean, I'm just slapping shit down at this point. But I don't think I have a grasp on what this is. Right? Because the third and the fourth made me think that, like, okay, right, here's 2 scenarios. Third and fourth could also be siblings, right? That does happen to where, you know, sometimes they name the same name to multiple children. They just have different, end of the thing, which would put them potentially here. Which also would maybe make sense given that Zach has, like, kind of like this brownish, reddish hair. And it appears that, you know, David kind of has that, brownish hair. Who else do we have as Kellogg? So this is somebody that somebody got with. No, that wouldn't work out. That's weird. Okay, so... I just kind of want to just maybe take some of this away. I don't want to lock myself in to, like, knowing stuff and being like, oh, yeah, I know this for a fact. All I know is that Bethany is Davy's sibling, right? We know that this is Chris Rafferty and his fiance. Wish they gave me one more piece of evidence. I kind of want to look at this. They said if I look at something, it's supposed to look like something, but I mean, realistically, I don't see nothing that looks like nothing. I'm supposed to get 5 things from here, too. Cool chocolate. Can it actually be something I can search? Imagine. Okay. Company leaders. Gossip about Hollywood. Okay, let's go to the Butler County Times. And then we got some books and stuff. We also Ernie Madsen Jr. I don't know, man. I don't know. We know this is Stephanie, but I feel like I'm questioning where she would go, perhaps maybe because of the hair. Like, I don't think she would go here. She's the only child. I also don't think she would go here either. She could, but you would think that, you know, this inherently blonde family with very strong, you know, genes would have another blonde kid, right? Given our track record of hair colors and whatnot. And we know distant cousins, meaning that Stephanie could be here, here, or here. Okay. I wish the game told me I was close. I wish the game gave me slight bits of encouragement. But no, game is what game is. Okay, let's think. We got some people on here that also could be here. Who do we not have? So we know who Eli M is. We got Eli off of here. We got Eli. We got Miracle, right? We got Carl. Who else do we have off of here? Gwendolyn is supposedly here. And then if we think Gwendolyn is here, and we think Gwendolyn is on the older side. But who realistically looks older on here, right? Has to be 1, 2, or 3, right? Who else do we have on here? And then where did we get this picture from? Is she in here? No. Okay, I was going to say, huh? Where did I get that picture? Oh, right here. So this is Stephanie Jones. We still don't know. I'm kind of feeling stumped, realistically. I'm trying to figure out what direction should I take. Maybe I go back up to page 1 and just think about anything that I don't have. I think we could delete this note. Carl and his second cousin Ernie Jr., who had just become president of Roottrees. His second cousin, and then we know from the first page that second cousins share the same they share the same great grandparents. So Carl's second cousin share the same great grandparents. So grandpa, great grandpa. So that would be. Does it say distant? No, I don't. I mean, we knew Ernie Jr. was out here, but I think that also puts Ernie Jr. on this level, if that makes sense. It's just about where Ernie Jr. is and what Ernie looks like. Because I don't think Ernie is in here. Oh, Ernie Jr. is in here. The question is, are these two men Gwen's sons? Or am I looking at two totally different people? These don't look like her sons whatsoever. So that leads a couple thing out. Okay, also we know that there's a cousin, so he should be a similar age as Carl. So we could assume this guy. Yeah, this guy has to be him, right? It could be other people, but Carl is still in high school. I mean, this guy kind of, he gets the sideburns, but that don't mean nothing, right? And then who do we... The music changed. Well, I thought I got something right. Oh my god, imagine, bro. Okay, let's keep looking, though. Angie and I both wanted to be in the photo since Miracle was in it. And the three of us were all about the same age. We were told only 5 pieces, which really didn't go over well, to say the least. Eventually, I supposed to stop the tantrums. They posed us in front of the camera with Mr. Morden, who was there with Aunt Gwendolyn. Aunt Gwendolyn. And this is Lauren, right, that is speaking through. So her aunt would be basically Gwendolyn, probably right here. Yeah, Gwendolyn is with Mr. Morden. And then who was Gwendolyn? This lady. And then what did she do? We don't know what she did, but we're gonna look her name up soon. So who was the lady? The lady also could be somebody totally different. This could be Angie. And this could be, yeah, she looks a little older. And this is who we think Angie is. That's who we think Angie is, right here. But we don't know for sure. I want to search Gwendolyn Roottrees to see what we can find. Gwynd. I spelled it right. I want to take this name. Very weird, right? I want to take this name and also shove it in here. Okay. What should we look up next? Shit. We still got some... Okay, so we still got some documents with some hints on it, essentially. Well, look at that light. Why that light kind of look nice, right? An entry titled Sam from Lauren Roottrees' diary written in 1963. Elias Roottree had given in to his wife and announced that Sam, an obscure relative, was to be included in family gatherings. And Sam is maybe Samantha? Lauren writes, why Sam? I have so many distant relatives I've never met. After all, Granny had sisters and Granddad had a brother or two. But I was told trim the branches from the family tree, so why is Sam special? Nothing adds up. And I'm not the only one to realize. Angie summoned all the next gens to a secret meeting in Zach's office. Gwen is in Paris, but the rest of us, including Miracle's boys, spent ages trying to unravel the mystery. I didn't recognize Sam at Uncle Junior's wedding to Patsy, Uncle Junior's. And then who is this? Uncle to Lauren? I could only assume Uncle would be here, right? We don't know exactly who Patsy is, right? Weird. Okay. Oh, hold on. We're getting there. We're getting there. For sure. Okay. So they believe Sam is an outsider. Right? And then this one said Stephanie, who was an only child. So Stephanie is different than Sam. What's Stephanie's last name? Cattrall? Sam Cattrall. So Sam is a guy. Weird. And we know Stephanie is his daughter. Why do I keep doing that? Okay, so we were still reading this. This still has 2 pages on it. This has 1. Mm. This still has two. Maybe because we haven't had... We don't know what Clark looks like exactly. But isn't Clark also in that photo? No, not you. This photo. Clark. Carl Clark. So... Clark is a brown-haired guy. The funny part is, this could be Clark very well right here. It doesn't say when she had Clark. And we still don't know what Clark does. So what would entice me to want to put his name there? Or, you know what I mean? Oh, man. I think this might be a time where I just take a little peek at what the duck told me to do. Let's see what it say. There's a sticker on the front of Rolling Down to the City. I wonder what that's about. Okay. I do like the hint system. I do feel like it's like, it ain't really doing too much. Right? A sticker. As seen in MMM. Only the great grandson of Elias Roottrees can make disco to sweet. Peter Janowicz. Is that person on this list? Can I copy that off the photo? Hold on, let's see. MMM. What was his name? Jim and Diamond? What? MMM is an abbreviation for Modern Music Monthly, a magazine from the 40s to early 80s, and one of the business doing... Okay, bet. So, this is what we need. An interview from 1979 titled A Reluctant Hitmaker, Jim goes into his first band. Until a few years ago, Diamond and I were in C plus J and D with my cousin and his ex. Clark never knew his father, so our grandpop insisted we spend time with my dad and me. He spent time with my dad and me. As a result, Clark and I grew up like brothers. Diamond and Jane, on the other hand, are actually sisters. Wow, I knew it. I fucking knew it. They're dating sisters. Hilarious. So the four of us had sort of a cutesy family band thing going on. Not our finest hour. Regardless, when Diamond walked in on Clark in bed with her younger sister, everything exploded. No more family band. The only thing Clark and I had in common was music. But even then, we never really agreed on what it should be. He was always more interested in catchy tunes. Interesting. But I've been told, something you hum a week later. But I've been told Roland is like that, but that isn't my goal. When he called me up and said he liked it, I took it as a sign I was going in the wrong direction musically. That it made him laugh, but I'm trying to make art. I don't mind saying any of this because he'd agree. For the most of the decade, he was a mess, but he's a lot happier now. He started Raffertunes. That's interesting to note. And he's a much better jingle writer than songwriter. One of the benefits of our famous family is a massive company willing to be a client. That's also how my father was connected to Roottrees. Huh. All his old campaigns were hung on the walls all over the record player, but I was never interested. I just went straight for the music. I guess Clark was paying more attention. Okay, let's look up Raffertunes. Okay. A website about Raffertoon. Clark Rafferty LaRose advertising firm. On it is an about page, and you find a picture labeled the inspiration for the famous Super Bowl ad campaign. Below that is more detail. Clark was in a department store getting a family portrait with his wife and children when his wife was trying to get his youngest Katrina to calm down for the picture. He had he had the idea for the Roottrees Super Bowl ad. The photo is now in your evidence. So let's go back, and we know that Katrina. Actually, that's cool. We have Katrina in the youngest spot. Alright, so Katrina's the youngest one in this photo. That's crazy. We got an older picture of Clark. And what did Clark do exactly? Oh, Clark was also a musician, right? Perhaps? I'm gonna put that there for now. Yeah, Raffertoons. Or he could have been like a producer or something like that, like a music maker, maybe not making music himself. I don't think that counts as a director. Interesting. Okay. I think that's it, right? That's what it says. Clark Rafferty LaRose, advertising firm. Advertising firm. So would the daughters be advertising? Hold on, let's go back. The youngest one, right? On there's About You page, you find a picture of inspiration for the famous Super Bowl ad campaign. Would they technically be models? I mean, the other thing I would put would be like students or something like that. Because they're too young. They're too young to be doing anything else. But if they're in the Super Bowl ad, that's definitely intriguing. I want to go back to that thing that we were reading just now. That's how my father was connected to Roottrees. And then this is Jim talking. My father was connected to Roottrees. I believe... that's weird. I feel like this is written as though he wasn't originally a Roottrees or related to a Roottrees, which I don't think makes sense. With my cousin and his ex. Clark never knew his father, so our grandpa. So we need to find out the ex as well. Do we have a name there already? Okay. I'm gonna try to piece something together. I don't know what I'm gonna piece together. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but we gonna see. Man, I slept crazy. My neck is killing me. So we know that this is Stephanie, and Stephanie's an only child. But that don't tell me where Stephanie would go. And then do we have all of the notables solved? Carl Roottrees. What do we not have solved about Carl Roottrees? That wouldn't make sense if he was the 5th. I named him as the 3rd originally, but I wanted to put him there as the 4th, but he was there as the 4th earlier, right? Let's look more into Carl. I mean, I think he sold clothes. He made clothes, a clothing company out of the stuff. Delete this. Just search it, please. There we go. Wow, Carl, Brenda, and the Roottrees sisters all died. And that's why they say they're cursed. Let's see what's in here. We do have a cover in the summary. Magazine about corporate leaders. A cult clothing company. Would it be manufacturing? Or retail? I mean, ain't nothing I could probably put there that's gonna help me solve it, right? It's not gonna be easy as me putting housewife there, right? I can't just put everybody as housewife, right? No. Let's go back to the miracles. I am very curious. Miracle Jr., Miracle Roottrees. See if we can find Miracle Roottrees' mother. Or a spouse. Miracle Roottrees alive so late in his mother's life. Yep. The final child of his generation was nearly torn apart by countless health problems. Carl is mentioned in the Butler County Times quite often, including an article that also mentions Ernie Jr. Most of the articles concerning Carl are not important. About the plane crash, announces Carl's marriage to Brenda White after both in the early 20s. 1981, Carl got quite drunk at a charity event and broke his arm down some stairs. That's a really interesting thing to note. If it worked before, it will work again. No, you're probably right. You're probably right. The article also mentioned Ernie is from 1996 when Carl took over as the 5th. Okay, so we got a lot of work to do. And then that means my man is the 4th. So who in this generation had it? Would it just be like Ernest, older Ernest? You know, maybe. What were we just looking at? Computer, yes. Ernie Jr. apparently liked to stay out of the spotlight and never appeared in the Butler County Times other than a few mentions here and there. The article does mention an illness as the reason Ernie Jr. was stepping down. Interesting, though, for real. Who else could we search? It's like every time I feel like I'm looking at something, I feel like I'm mistaken. Like I gotta go back, or like what I'm looking at isn't that important, but let's go back. Jesus. So Jim could be, if we know who Jim, if we could find who Jim is in this photo, we might be able to find who Clark is in this photo, which I don't know if it will help me much, but it'll help me also identify who somebody's not in this photo, if that makes sense. So James does have a beard. Real interesting, though. And then how does he look? He doesn't have any facial hair. Doesn't mean he can't grow any, but... Could that be Clark? I don't even know what we would, Okay. We got a list of names. We got somebody named Zach Wilson instead of Zachariah. But that name is right. Holy moly. I was trying to see who all has the same last names. Like, for example, people who don't have a lot of last names could be helpful. So, like, right now, Kellogg, David, and third and fourth. And then do we have a Kellogg here? Kellogg Bethany. So we got 3 Kellogg's. And this could be Kellogg 3. This could be Kellogg 4. And then this could be Bethany. It worked. Something worked. Okay, let's see what we got. We obviously got, okay, so we got David right. Hey, locked everyone in the notable, Roottrees list. That is what's up. That's kind of cool. I'm happy that we're at least solving it. Like, this is, like, probably, like, earlier, maybe, like, 20 minutes ago. It's probably, like, the second hint we've been taking all game. Maybe second or third. I mean, I won't. Less than 5 hints, I'll be absolutely factual. But I don't think we did 3 hints at all. So, yeah, that's what's up. Now I have 18 out of 50. So we got Clark, we got David, and we got Carl correct. Oh, I got a phone call? Hold on. Okay, one second. Let me blow my nose before we start listening to shit. Okay. He said the phone is ringing. It is.
So, you may have heard the news. Some of Carl's things have gone missing. That includes the pictures and mail I brought you earlier. I promise I didn't steal it.
Okay, you sure you didn't steal it, sis?
I did borrow it. I'll return it once we're done. Let me deal with my family in the meantime. Oh, I guess that means I've officially confessed.
Confessed to doing what? So you killed somebody?
I'm a Roottrees.
Ah, I mean, that made sense, right?
I assure you I have a reasonable explanation for the secrecy. I'm about to do something big the family doesn't approve of.
She seemed relatively older,
just
too.
Wait a little bit longer, I'll tell you more. In person.
15 more?
15 more blood relatives.
Girl, she said I'll return once you're 60% done at least. Alright, let's put Bethany in there. Okay. We did get a new piece of evidence, though. So, he said highway robbery. Right. That's crazy. Oh, this is all we got? Instead of returning, the person who hired you called you on the phone. They claimed to be a Roottrees. They also told you they give you more of an explanation the next time they return. What does that have to... They didn't give me no new evidence? No nothing? That's crazy. That's crazy. This is highway robbery. For real. For real. I demand that I don't know. I wish I could copy the names from here. I kind of want to search him since he's the president, right? So who do we get? We finally get Carl confirmed. Thank gosh. I was about to say, when are you gonna get Carl confirmed? So we gotta figure out Carl's mother. And very confused. We don't have these two confirmed, but also we don't know for a fact what they do. They could be a principal, or maybe, I don't know, knowledge, paths of knowledge. You know. How do I feel right now? Do I feel good that I identified these things? Yes. Am I like, what else are you gonna give me? Also, yes. So we also know that this is Stephanie, and Stephanie is an only child. So, what do we have? We got Stephanie Cattrall, and we got Stephanie Landon. We got Mark Landon, and then we got Sam Cattrall. We gotta figure out who the frick Stephanie Landon is again, and then who she is in relation. All right, now. I see a whole bunch of Wilsons. We get quite a few Mordens, too. Gwendolyn Morden. That's also something interesting, because I feel like Gwendolyn Morden... So, Catherine and Gwendolyn. So, he could have, this guy very much could have, because we know that the name here is probably Kellogg, we could assume that Catherine and Gwendolyn belong here, right? He's the guy. He probably, you know, most likely took the last name, opposed to her potentially marrying somebody the name Kellogg, which we don't have the name yet. But it's also possible she could have not given the last name to the kids, but I don't know, with the third generation having Kellogg. So I think I might go ahead and lock a few of these in. I don't know who's who. But if it gets it off my list, that just gives me a way to just kind of understand what I'm doing. And the crazy part is the rest of the family isn't that well known. Okay, let's see. Grandma insisted we include Sam, even if we didn't want to. If I could figure out who one of these women are, I feel like that's all I need. I feel like I have these two correct. I just don't know what they could have done in knowledge. I mean, there's also the possibility I could literally just change them both to principal and just take professor off of there. They don't do nothing, but, I mean, you know. I'm pretty certain that they belong in the main family tree. Also could have them backwards as well. I don't know if I really want to change them too much. They could just be me. Like, I could just have, like, biased, right? Then we have this picture. And we got Bonnie and Guy Hudson, which we don't know who Guy Hudson is. We did figure out, we do... Fancy flavors. He made the caviar piece. So... okay, so we could pretty much search any president via Business Watch. Guy Hudson, along with his twin sister, are no strangers to the public when it comes to Roottrees snacks. They both appear in the company's advertisements as children during the Boys and Girls Agree era. Interesting, interesting. Now Guy is taking over the Roottree company at the end of the year. Who would have known that one of those two adorable redheads, Guy credits to his mother and father, Angie and Christopher, two redheads right here. Let's go back to reading. Wait, hold on. We don't know who, they're twins, so. All right. So I think we don't know who was born first, but we do have an idea that these redheads are a product of these folk over here. Let's go back to that thing right here. Angie and Chris were finally hired to arguing over something, everything but chocolate to grow up to take over the whole company. Guy's uncle and current president, Zachariah, uncle. Yeah! Okay, so we might swap Guy over here. We'll see, though, honestly. I don't have any rush to do it, just because I have, you know, the name, I have all of that ready. And then also we can find Guy's spouse. I don't think that'll help us, though, as far as, like, solving something real quick. I think it's just like it solves whatever we have right once we have 2-3 factual things right. Or 9, I guess. Zachariah has decided to take early retirement to focus on traveling the world with his wife. Zach was quoted saying, "Now that our daughters have started families of their own, Clara..." And then daughters. We're correct. Daughters, more than Gwendolyn and Carolyn. Please, that's the treadmill. Please don't scratch your nails on that. Clara and I plan to reflect on a life well lived. Guy is new to the business world, but he's family. We at Roottrees have faith in his innovative ideas, and he's eager to share them with the world. We like to think that the boys and girls agree that he's ready to succeed. I want to search this. Boys and girls agree. You find a site about successful ad campaigns. One of the ads listed from the late 50s, Boys and Girls Agree. It is a series of television and magazine ads for the Roottrees chocolate bars. The ad campaign is described as having the premise that boys and girls are often diametrically opposed, except when it comes to one thing. Both of them agree that the Roottrees is their favorite. Interesting. The first advertisement in the series was the most memorable due to the bright red hair of the boy and the girl involved. One of the magazine advertisements has been added to your evidence. Oh, so these are the... Okay, so this is... We might have to swap, but we'll see. This is an ad, Roottrees candy from the late 50s, part of a campaign called Boys and Girls Agree. The ad campaign is described as having the premise that boys and girls often... Okay, so we just read that. Roottrees is their favorite. So I assume the people that we gotta get are these two. Search Bonnie Hudson. I do think we have them at the right place because of where they are. So think about it. So if Guy Hudson was here, then he would, if we're going based on, how they typically do it, then if Guy Hudson was here, then the last names of these children would be Hudson. So I'm pretty sure that we got him right in the right place, I would imagine, right? And he took down over Guy, and then Ernest, Madsen Ernest was the third. Okie dokie. Jeez. It's crazy. Sunday night though, but I'll probably I'm going on for a little bit more, but if you are curious when the next stream will be, definitely will be trying to do it on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then the weekend try to do that. See how it goes. Let's see. So we got Bonnie, Hudson, Caroline. Who's Caroline's sibling? Gwendolyn. So Gwendolyn and Caroline look similar. This is who I'm assuming they are, right? They kind of look similar. She looks like older. We don't know what they do, but... And then who else is in this photo? Guy Hudson, Bonnie. Carolyn. We got Gwyneth M. So who is Gwyneth M? Gwyneth Madsen. And then we know Ernie Jr. is in here as well. Clark, Carl. So we know that we can add this picture of Carl here now that we solved him. Clark. What would he have looked like as a kid? Oh my gosh. We know he has brown hair, right? The question is, which one of these guys look like they'll go balding first, right? And I would say this guy. Look at his forehead. Right? Is that given? Am I being rude? Am I being rude right now? And then I think that if that's him, then this is Jim, right? They stand next to each other, right? And then who else is in this photo? Ernest. Who would Ernest be? Ernest could it be this guy? He's a little older. I don't know. I'm just making shit out I have no idea. Oh, wow. I didn't even pay attention to this. Okay, so let's see. Latest ad. And we still didn't find much about Tessa Roottrees. Maybe she's in the Business Watch. No. Let's go here and then search. Roottrees Motors. Wilkins Motors. So, let's see. So somebody who married somebody named Catherine, likelihood, maybe not always the case. Somebody who named somebody named Catherine, I assume, is something totally different. not something totally different. I assume took over and had Tessa, perhaps. We also got this Boys and Girls Agree, which we pretty much feel like we have the two people. You know what's cool? What's interesting too? Even if it wasn't them, we can also use these pictures and like be absolutely certain that we have them right. But I'm pretty sure the redheads. Come on now. We had to learn what they did though. What did Bonnie do? If I could figure Bonnie's occupation, if I could figure like one or two occupations, I'm sure I can get through to the next one. And I'm sure I probably got more than that wrong. But, you know, a girl could have hope, right? So we get this Clark one, Danielle. And then, did we get this right? Clark being with Danielle? Yes, we did. Why does my eyes always do this? Maybe I just don't blink enough. Do I not blink enough, chat? No. Probably not. I'm like a kid who keeps rubbing their eyes. Alright, let's look at this complaints. And then she tried to complain to see everyone has something to complain about. Gwen, the only child, complained of loneliness. I told her that being expected to watch after all three younger brothers didn't feel like a blessing, but it fell on deaf ears. During the summer where I went to stay with her and Aunt Margot, So now we gotta figure out who her father is, because I do remember that. I itch my eyes so much. Man, I don't know, man. I mean, that just gives me thing. I need to probably just have some like eye drops nearby. But also, like, another thing I realized is I can't do this too much. Like, I'm allergic to cats, and I have two of them. So theoretically, I pet the cat, I touch my eye, I get irritated eye. So, you know, it's kind of like a thing. But imagine you could put the cream next to your eyes, on your eyes, in the eyeballs, and it don't hurt, right? No, I wouldn't actually put it in my eyeballs, but okay, Margot. So we could assume that Gwen's mother's name is Margot. Okay. So we got something from it. I don't know if that is a number that'll disappear until we actually get it locked in. But let's go. Elias Roottrees had given in to his wife, Elias Roottrees. And we think Elias Roottrees goes here. We really do. Gosh, damn. Benadryl, you know what? You're smart. I wonder if I got any allergy pills right now. I don't have Benadryl, but I got this green shit. It's supposed to be like Zyrtec brand. That might help. Crazy had cats all my life though. Gwyneth. Gwyneth. We still have an extra. Who do we have? Where do we have Gwyneth? only assume that Gwyneth goes here. Because none of these people actually have Roottrees names. Oh, you talking about the ointment? Oh, it's a Benadryl like ointment type thing. All right, these probably are not right. They could be interchangeable because, as we know, the juniors are the firstborn son, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're the firstborn person in the thing. Because somebody could just have a son. They could just have they could keep going until they have a son and then just be done at that point. Jeez. And then who would that make Sam? Would Sam or not? No, I don't know. We also got a photo. Let's see. Ernie Jr. is in here. So Ernest Jr. is in this photo. Who do we know might be the oldest person here? So Gwyneth is probably the oldest looking woman. So we can assume Gwyneth is her, I would assume, right? Which would mean that... I don't know. Oh, we got this photo of Tessa back here too, and then she's looking hella blonde. In the ad, she's in like the last picture of the ad. Hey, is she looking hella blonde to you? You don't really have any blonde folks on this side. We don't really have room for her to be here too. And then we also know that she took the Roottrees name. That's... Something's off. Something's off. Okay, let's keep going. We got this Dynasty 1. This is the determinate successor. Clancy told me that everyone got quite heated. Granddad was furious that none of his sons will take over as the president, but that's what he gets for holding on to it so long. With architects, preachers, and lawyers. Architects, preachers, and lawyers. Nobody has time for candy. Architects, preachers, and lawyers. So we got a lawyer. We got a preacher. And then we got an architect. But do we know if they're in this photo? No, he's not in it. That's Pop. That's not the 5 pieces. Unless it is. Imagine that there's this is Elias. I thought that this was Mr. Morden But granted, it says only 5 pieces, which I suppose this is. I don't know, man. Why would we get? I mean, we technically could get a picture, but also when we looking over here, it doesn't have a picture for Morden, right? Normally, the side people we have pictures for if they have a picture. Be right back, bathroom. Okay, no worries, no worries. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. And I'm sorry I keep wiping my eyes, but honestly, I want to be able to wake up early though, so I could maybe sneak in multiple streams. Like maybe I could stream before work, but it depends on when I wake up, and I don't want to like just stream for like an hour, you know, which could be the thing. Yeah, my allergies are kicking my butt. I'm not gonna lie. Okie dokie. Wow. I got 3 more. Let's see. We got to change the other little girl to a student. Nice. So we do have Elias. Nice. Awesome. Bet. That's what's up. So we gonna change her to a student. I figured, but you know, you never know, right? Who's a student or who's not. And I also think that means that she's not a student. We gotta look at what was the description about Bethany? We don't know much about Bethany and her picture. D Cho Tu Mai? I mean, I don't even think I spelled that right, but all right, now we're getting somewhere. Oh no, actually no, she doesn't go there. Who went there? I think that's Angie, or maybe not. So Chris Rafferty was not an advertiser at the end of his last thing. Names. Okay. Biggest complaint I've got after publishing my diary was how many similar names I was. I get it. We have 4 Eli's for peace sake. Someone would say I saw Eli in town, and I would know my brother, my uncle, my cousin. That's why they became Eli Jr., Miracles Eli, or Eli C. Now, do we have all Eli's confirmed? We have Miracles Eli, her brother Eli, which very wrong, huh? We could public speaker. I don't know what he could be. And then she said an Uncle Eli. Okay, so we got all the Eli's here. So what are we missing with the names? Welcome back. Our names were always unusual. Grandpa Elias was a believer in using names of each generation to honor those in the last. His father and Grandma Gwyneth's father were named Edward and Clancy, so now you see where my pop's name came from. One thing that's been consistent in our family, though, is that anytime someone's a junior, they're always the firstborn son. That goes for Miracle, Eli, or even Clancy. With the women, however, it goes out the window. I think Gwendolyn got her name from some combination of Gwyneth and Carolyn, who was Elias's mother. Elias's mother. Oh, maybe original Elias's. Okay. Women's names seem to get mixed up as the generations go on. I guess that's no equivalent female of a junior. Edward Clancy Roottrees. Okay, okay. So, I don't know what that tells us, but... we do have most of the Gwendolyn's, like, you know, just chilling around. I'm getting there. Look at that. I got most of, like, the main family caught up, though. What else do I have? Watchman of the Year. Elias Roottrees was voted Watchman of the Year. Nice. I can use the arrow keys. 1908, Elias forms the Roottrees Candy Company after marrying his wife, who inherited a maple farm. During the period before the Five Pieces, the company is barely profitable. Elias had a daughter, the first of 5 children. Yep, so that's what we know. 4 more follow, leading to Elias invents the 5 pieces. Each of the 5 flavors chosen based on the initials of his 5 children. Wow, that was here the whole time. The initials. PP, SS, AA, BBR. What? CC? CC, SS, PP, BB, AA. So Clancy, E, Elias. Was it GG? I didn't see GG. Then we got M. Maybe not. No. Go back. No, not this. You're cooking though. I would not be good at this. Man, I'm trying. These games are super cool though, because when you're done, it feels so fulfilling. And I do enjoy the fact that the 2 hints that I have taken have not been like exactly what I need to do. It's not like, oh, put these names in versus, you know, other stuff. Each of the 5 flavors is chosen based on the initials of his 5 children. And then we go back to the 5 flavors. I don't know, because we got Miracle. That's a little confused here. But okay. Let's go back. They rolled out in New England. 1928, new recipe and flavor is finalized and candy begins nationwide distribution. They purchased every maple, so they basically had a monopoly. Yeah, New England, Butler County. Production tripled and worldwide distribution. Claimed trust, okay. And then we have this scandal. Let's see, new diary opens with an explosive incident that happened in the decade between the release and re-release of Lauren's diary. Elias Roottrees had died, and during the reading of his will, there was an audible gasp when a certain name was read out loud. Samantha Roottrees. Elias Roottrees had died. Although Sam and her children were not meant to receive monetary inheritance, he had a stipulation that she retain rights to run the farm and any decisions related to it. It was then that the scandalous secrets came out. None of the 5 pieces were surprised, but quite a shock to everyone else, including Sam. She had been told her parents died. Apparently, Sam was the illegitimate daughter of Elias Jr. and Patricia. Elias Jr. and Patricia. So Sam goes here, I assume. And that's what we assumed before, but yeah, interesting. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. We got that. Let's see, we looked at that. Rolling on down to the city. Was there more to do? Maybe it was more on here. Rolling down to the city was barely a... Let's go back. Let's read this whole thing. Satire is how a part of society was content to remain indifferent to economic inflation and civil unrest in the Middle East unless pop culture tricked them into caring. Somewhat ironically, listeners didn't seem to pay attention to the lyrics enough to trick them into caring. Instead, most of its plays came from roller discos. Because it was such a product of its time, it didn't get much play anymore, even on stations that play oldies. Maybe that's why you never heard of it before now. This image is for auction, an auction for a sealed copy, and it has a sticker that says, "Only the great grandson of Elias Roottrees will make disco this sweet." Okay, let's highlight this. Honestly, can we delete the whole page? What if we just delete page? Oh. I think maybe we should also delete the pages after we solve something big that we're working on. Okay, I want to read the lyrics real quick. Rolling on down to the city, Saturday night. You're quite a sight. The world may be burning, but I'm feeling right. Making ends meet, pay rent and eat. Can't afford gas, so we skate in the streets. The guys all rush to say I'm pretty. Ladies blush, find me so witty. They're out of luck tonight, what a pity. We're rolling down onto the city. Wheels glide with you by my side. Inflation is rising, but so is our pride. Pick our own fates. Make love, not hate. Fight overseas, but we rather skate. Guys all rush it, we're on the side of the city. Let's see. Politicians at large are all hopeless. The bankers in charge are all clowns. The parties sell better than the protests, so signs up while we boogie down. Huh. Interesting. Okay, so that is interesting, though, to say the least. But now that we have this thing highlighted, we can actually search this up. Peter what? Janowicz? Oh, oops. Okay. What is it? What was the name of the album? Is it just rolling on down to the city? Or Jim and Diamond, maybe? So we read this. Okay, so there must be more that we get from here, apparently. Clark and I had in common. Yes. But we learned what he did. It's also how my father was connected to Roottrees. My father was connected to Roottrees. But his father... Huh. And then his father would have to be in this photo, right? An attempt to recapture the 5 pieces photo with our generation. For old time's sake, we gathered on the warehouse floor. I want Eli to stand all the way to the left since he looked a lot like Pop. So Eli looks like Pop. And then... So we know that Eli looks like Pop. We just don't know if they're older or not. Okay. I feel like we're doing pretty good, though. I'm doing pretty good. Drink a little bit more water. Could we perhaps swap them too? We could. We could absolutely swap them too. I mean, that ain't gonna help. But what made me swap them was like, I'm like, this guy got darker hair. It could be dyed, but I don't know. Got me thinking, right? That's the first time I swapped them. And that doesn't mean I think they'll automatically get right, but... And then we had this, so we could assume that those two girls are his daughters. And this is Stephanie Jones. Who else is named Jones? Brian Jones. Since it's only one of the things that I'm looking at that's been he said wait, after that photo, never mind. He said looks dyed. Yeah, I don't know. Something I'm looking for are very similar names. So let's see. I think if I find a group of names, it kind of could help me where I could find these people here. So, like, for example, there's two Cathralls, a guy and a girl. Well, you know what I think? I think, realistically, the guy comes first before the girl because, you know, regardless of it, only one time they mentioned the girl taking the guy's, or the guy taking the girl's name. So, that being said, if we're following the typical family tree, and everybody's originally named Roottrees, the person on the outside will have to be a guy to marry in their name to replace Roottrees as the last name. So using that, I can kind of sort of be like, okay, for example, we have Sam Cattrall and we have Stephanie Cattrall, or yeah, Cattrall. So I can only assume that could be here, right? We got a lot of these figured out. That could be here. Can't be here because Ernest Jr. is a guy, right? He still probably has Madsen as the last name, perhaps. We don't know that for facts, but... and then also, can't be here either. So I think we might have solved it already. It could be here. In fact, Madsen, Nicole could always do this, but... Stephanie, who looks nothing like and is the only child, could potentially be here. Right? I might be talking on my butt, but there could be truth into some of this. We know that Stephanie's an only child. So to me, if Stephanie's the only child, that means Stephanie belongs here, or Stephanie belongs here. We don't have facts to prove who is married to who. Oh. So Sam belongs here, I think. Because Sam would be directly a direct relative of Stephanie. Okay, who else do we have? Well, I don't have any like proof, right? You said at least there's only two. That's what I'm saying. It's two options. So like this one, we have, what is this, Wilson? How many Wilsons do we have? We have Jim Wilson, Gem at the bottom. You can't really see it like that. Oh, there you go. Jim Wilson. And then for the guys, we have Jason Wilson, Steven Wilson, and Zach Wilson. So to me, you got 3 Wilsons. You know who the 3 Wilsons go to, right? Do we? Come on. One of the guys' names belongs here, though. We don't know where the girl's name is, but we can assume that these 3 siblings are those 3 names. Yeah. Zach, Steven, I don't know. Who's the dad? Let's do... And these they're going to get replaced at some point, but I think this helps me narrow down where some people could be, right? We just don't know this person's... We don't have the photo. We don't know their occupation, so there's no way of locking these people in other than like putting the name there and making it less on the list. So we can only assume that we have 3 people named Wilson, right? And the Ernest Jr. is on this level, and basically Ernest is Elias's son. Ernest Jr. is Ernest's firstborn son. So that being said, Madsen is likely a shared last name with Ernest Jr.'s sister, right? So that being said, I think we're cooking here. We're cooking with some heat, some grease. We're cooking up. We're cooking up some stuff. Okay, let's see what else I can get. We got Smith Nicole. I only see one Smith. We had tons of Roottrees. That's crazy. We still have a lot more to figure out, of course. And we have Rafferty, Chris, Clark, and Jacob. Chris, Clark, and Jacob. So we have those Raffertys. Anybody else? Okay, these are his daughters. We don't exactly know what they look like exactly yet, but we have Kellogg in there somewhere. We don't know what Kellogg looks like, but we do have Kellogg in there. We got Hudson, Guy, Hudson, Christopher, and then we got Hudson, Bonnie. So where do we put Guy? Do we have? Yeah, so we got all 3 of these right. We just don't know Bonnie's occupation. I don't want to just slap anything there, but, she could be a model. She was a model for the company when they were kids. But that doesn't mean, granted that he took over the company, that doesn't mean she remained a model for the company, I guess. So we could do, we could always put it there and then just change it later. I mean, everything we put has a chance to help me progress and get other things right, but also has the ability to help me get things wrong by making me think that I have everything right. Anything else that stands out to me? We got a whole bunch of Leroy, but I feel like did we fix those? Okay, so we know we could do. We don't know who's who. Interesting. So, Leroy Diamond, Kim and Jane. Do we have Jane? We have. Weird that we didn't get Jane's name locked in, right? Is that me? Okay, and they said something about his daughters. What did we just read? Let's look at the history. Wow, they really don't. Alright, did we? We're getting there. I do honestly want to change this back. And I might be shooting myself in the foot, granted. But, I don't know. I'm just clicking shit. He could be a principal for sure. And we still got so many Roottrees left. Robert, November, Tessa, Wolf, Samantha, Ronald, Christina. Alright, let's see. We got this campaign mailer. Stephanie Jones. Okay, let's read this. Because I think this is important. I feel like this shouldn't be too hard to figure out, right? This was buried under a ton of other mail that Carl left in his inbox. It had a written note attached to it that seemed personal. It was a flyer about a candidate for a local office, Stephanie Jones. On the back is an excerpt from a newspaper article from the Butler County Times about her campaign. And then we can definitely look up Stephanie Jones again. She may have grown up in an unconventional family, to say the least, but in her words, it was still full of love. Now, 22 years later, with a baby overdue, love is our future. Unconventional family. How many Jones is it? Brian and Patricia. And then this guy's writing a letter to Carl. So, Stephanie has to be on the same level as the daughters, I would think. You would think, right? Unconventional family. Oh, my ankle. I gotta stop sitting. It's like I sit crisscross applesauce, and I put too much weight on my ankles. Like I lean forward on my ankles. And then who is this? CM. CM. Let's go back. It's a guy and his name is CM. Weird. Unless CM don't have shit to do with Caroline Morden? Stephanie Jones. That is so interesting. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out. Let me search Stephanie Jones in the Butler County Times. Born Stephanie Landon into her marriage to a local business owner, Brian Jones. Huh. 1 second. Gosh, my bad. It's okay. I think I'm just a little tired, you know, kind of like, you know what I mean? You know, when you get tired, kind of your brain is all over the place. I'm going to try a little bit more and see where we are. Gonna tuck in. Thank you so much for hanging out, for real. As you see, I'm getting a little tired. I want to see if I can get something else, but definitely will. Well, maybe we'll see about after work tomorrow and see what I could do. But yeah, we're figuring it out. You found a cover story about local art installations, including one by Carolyn Morden. There isn't much about Carolyn as a person. This is mostly a listing of art in Butler County. Accompanying the story, there's an image of Carolyn standing beside a large metal sculpture of a mermaid. It is captioned Carolyn standing next to her sculpture, Atlantis Burden. The sculpture is one of many works featured in her upcoming book, Self-Portrait, Art and the Beauty of Women. Alright, we'll need this. According to the quote further down, Atlantis' burden is meant to symbolize society's split by indecision over whether women should be equals or something to protect. The picture on the front page has been added to your evidence. Okay, and then we will take a peek. And then we just got a picture of her. Yes. I think that's all we're gonna do for tonight. I think I actually will tuck in for the night as well. I gotta go to work in the morning. I've streamed a little longer than I wanted to. I wanted to start earlier, but I got caught up in some stuff. But yes, I hope you guys have an amazing night, and I'll be back soon for a stream. I think we'll start with some of the stuff about Carolyn and her mother and whatnot, and we'll start. Best case scenario, we ended off with a new picture that'll tell us a little bit more, and also help me look into a book. So this is going to be helpful when we come back. So before going through anything else, here's what we have. Here's the evidence that we have. Here's how the tree is looking. We got some people here and there, but we got a huge chunk of the main, quote-unquote, main Roottrees family, or a lot of the people who didn't, the last name kind of stayed similar. And then we got a little bit, I don't think we got anything over here realistically. We might get Elias, but I think he might have been there realistically as well. And we also got Gwyneth herself. So, yes, with that being said, I hope y'all had an amazing time. I'll be back soon. Don't have a day, don't have a time. We're figuring it all out. Very soon I will have a schedule posted. But with that being said, y'all have a good night. I gotta go to bed. For real. Bye. I can't even be like so excited because I'm tired. But yeah, have a good day. Have a good night. Yes, see you soon. Peace.